Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and today, my face is over here, because we're going to be switching over to the forums, and I just want to talk about, quick rant on Territory Wars, and why I think it is one of the worst game modes, and the quick fixes I would make to it, and I had to make this because it's Territory War Day, and I hate Territory Wars. So, please like and subscribe, comment down below. Let's give a shout out to our channel members, as always, for their continued support. If you're ever interested, that link is down below, along with a link to Discord. Go check it out. Thank you guys again for keeping the faith, for believing in me, and being the best community possible. I love every single one of you. Appreciate your support in any way. It's awesome. Thank you guys for helping grow this channel. Let's hit 10,000 subscribers this year, and let's talk Territory Wars. Alright, so I want to flip, my face is over here because I want to flip to the forums here, and there's a post from Meathead where he asked, like, what do you want to see in 2025? And I found my favorite post about Territory Wars. Must be reworked. A dream would be Battlefront 2, Galactic Conquest game mode, where you can fight Territory Wars on different planets with specific buffs and debuffs, as in galactic challenges or territory battles. I think that's awesome. That'd be so cool, right? Like, that is so cool. And a lot of the other comments you see on the forums here in regard to Territory War. Increase the rewards. They're so bad for all the effort putting into the game mode. Other comments that I saw up here that I thought were really important. Guilds only have 30 to 35 members to participate each time, which we'll get into that. Again, another one I saw, a lot of Delta Squad stuff in here, which is funny. Complete overhaul. Game mode's outdated. Stronger guilds only put 35 to 40 players to match up and beat up on weaker guilds, just to get the max rewards. This destroys Territory War. A quick solution in the meantime might be create a new higher reward class so stronger guilds are more willing to put their maximum members in a fight. I think this hits the nail on the head. The problem with Territory Wars, it's not just that the matchmaking is bad, but because it can be manipulated and it's based on your joined GP. So my guild is 625 million galactic power. So we're going to face guilds that join with, okay, we have 48 members. So let's say we're at, 600 million. So we're going to face a guild with a similar amount of joined GP to us, right? Well, okay, 600 million, that's not that bad for 625. But what if we joined with like 35 members, like a lot of those guys said? We could be facing a guild with hundreds of millions of less GP than us, right? That's ridiculous. And the whole reason people do this is because the second place rewards, where a lot of guilds will pay attention to, is right in here, the Datacron materials and the relic materials. 1 and 1 for air magnifiers and droid brains, and then your slicing materials. Comparative to this, 3 and then 5 for droid brains. This is the entire problem with the matchmaking, is that the reward for winning in terms of droid brains and air magnifiers is so significantly higher that guilds will, like, realistically, just to show you the math here, if you lose, you're going to get 1 droid brain. You join with 50 members and your guild loses, your guild gets 50 droid brains. If you join with 30 members and win, you would get 150 droid brains. Your guild would net 100 more droid brains, even though 20 less players joined because you won. And that's the problem, is that players and guilds can manipulate this matchmaking to say, hey, you know what? We want to get more. And it's not necessarily always somebody intentionally sandbagging, like member 1, 2, 3, members 1 through 20, you're sitting out. But hey, if you're not going to play or you're not going to join, don't do this. Like, that's the problem, is that I'm okay with it at this level, but why not create a reward bracket that's like, 700 million, 600 million, and that, sure, maybe your win rewards are better, but that you've got to increase the loss rewards. And before you guys say, oh, well, you're increasing a losing mentality, I understand that, but you're kind of also rewarding them for being an endgame guild and sticking with their own, right? Do you want the current situation we have now, kind of move the fat face back over to normal, do you want the situation we have now, where you've got a bunch of SMUs and Indianas who beat up on all these terrible teams, they make the college football playoff, and then they get exposed? Shots fired, right? Or do you want to say, hey, you know what? SMU and Indiana, they're actually playing some good teams, and hey, they're losing, but at least they're not playing, Appalachian State week in and week out. They're fighting, they're playing the people they should, right? So I think that's where my mind goes with territory wars. And even to go back to the one comment of like the bonuses and fighting on different planets, you could make that as simple as just switch the matchup. Like this map here is Jakku, so first order resistance, maybe like scoundrels or something, right? Create an Endor map, Rebels and Empire, Ewoks. Create a Hoth map, again, Rebels, Empire, and Wampa. Create a Naboo one, Separatist, Galactic Republic, Gungans. Geonosis, Galactic Republic, Separatist, Geonosian bonuses. Like, you could do a lot of these planets and include a couple of factions. And what would be interesting with that is that you could, sorry, moving the face around a little bit here. You could keep the matchmaking fun, right? You could keep it, like, changing that, hey, you know what? Maybe there's a, like, instead of just, oh, the cycle is this and this and this, like, it could rotate around, and that way maybe you get Galactic Republic and Separatists 2 times in a row, and the next time you get, like, Sith and Jedi. Like, that could be really cool and really fun, and it keeps it fresh. You could even make it, take it a step further and allow to apply bonuses to each of these zones. Hey, this zone is Rebels. This one is Sith, and maybe it gets randomized or something, I think that the bonuses would be cool. And you say, oh, well, that's what Datacrons are. But if we're all honest, Datacrons, much like Territory Wars, are loved by a lot of those top-end players, that top 1% of 1%. And the 99.9 are just kind of like, this is stupid. And that's a blanket statement, but I'd say it's mostly true. But I do think there's a lot of good ideas on those forums for, changing Territory Wars, because I do think of all the game modes, I think that's the one that hasn't had an update in the longest time. Because GAC, we did get the update, right? Remember, they revamped GAC, they added skill rating, they added the crystals there. Territory Wars has kind of been sticking around, and I think it's time they have a conversation about changing it. And I'm sure part of that conversation is, if we change this too much, those top guilds might not play anymore because they don't get the same rewards. But we also don't want it to continue to be this thing that nobody wants to invest in, right? Because it is something that a lot of guilds don't invest in. My guild doesn't. We don't give a shit. And I'm sure many others are in the same boat as us, where it's just kind of one of these things that you do because you can get the rewards, and if you win, great, and if you don't, it's no skin off your back. And that's not really good. Like, you want everybody interacting with your content, and I feel like this is the, one area, I'd say this is the one area that the player base can actually get upset that it doesn't get updated or that it's stale because it is this old, right? I don't know, maybe I'm, just, I would care about Territory Wars if Mandos had a legitimate chance at being good at it. And what I mean by a legitimate chance at being good is they force you to a 500 win-loss rate. Like, if you really, try, you get forced to a 500 win-loss rate. If we could try and actually win 60 or 65 or 70% without having to sandbag, maybe I would care more. But I just can't because you don't allow it. So, let me know your thoughts, guys. I want to get the rant out today. Let me know your feelings. Tell me if I'm an idiot in the comments. I love you all. May the force be with you. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, my friends.